Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are new here, welcome. My name is Tenna. We are back at it again with another foundation review. For those of you that are new here, and for those of you that may have been here for a while but don't necessarily know, I have been on this continuous quest to find the perfect foundation for dry skin. I didn't really start dabbling in foundation until about a year ago because, to be honest, not trying to toot my own horn, my skin is not necessarily all that terrible. I don't necessarily need foundation all the time because I've taken really good care of my skin. Shout out to my mother for making sure that I started my skincare routine extremely early in life. So I haven't really used foundation all that much. And it wasn't until I started playing around and doing foundation that I realized that you can really just, instead of using foundation to just kind of cake on a mask, a lot of times it just kind of helps to just enhance the natural beauty that you already have and just kind of even out your skin tone. Granted, my skin is not perfect. I do have dark circles under here. I have some little acne that showed up here, things like that. And it's nice to just be able to cover it up and give kind of more of that illusion of perfect skin. So in that note, I don't necessarily like full coverage foundations just because I think it's a little bit too much. Every single full coverage foundation that I've used has looked really cakey and really bad on me, and part of that is usually because I have such dry textured skin, so it really and most full coverage foundations tend to be matte, and that is the worst thing possible that you can do for dry textured skin, is because it brings out every single imperfection in your skin. So I try to look for more of the dewy medium to full coverage type foundations. So anyway, I got a recommendation from one of you guys in my last video where I did a review of the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation stick, where somebody said, girl, if you have dry skin, you have to try the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. So I'm always open for recommendations. I have never one to pretend like I know everything and all things makeup. There's so many products out there in the world. There's millions and millions of foundations and concealers and lipsticks and things that you can put on your face, and you're not necessarily always going to try all of them. So definitely always open for suggestions. If you guys know of any other foundations that are great for dry textured skin that you would like me to try out, go ahead and drop a comment below and let me know what sticks out for you. So anyways, back into what this video is going to be about is I'm going to be going over this guy right here. It is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and I am in the color Caramel. So for those of you guys that are curious, for if you're the same skin tone that I am, so basically it is an undetectable medium to full coverage foundation. Sounds great, right? So anyways, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna kind of go over what's all in this foundation. We're gonna try it on my face. We're gonna go over it, and then we're gonna do an all-day wear test and see how this works. Alright, so before we go ahead and jump right into the video, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you do not miss out on any of the cool things that is the circus that is my channel, because I do some pretty cool stuff on here. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right on into it. So anyway, first things first, I have already prepped and primed my face. I will be filming another video after this that will actually go up before this. I did another TJ Maxx haul, so I got a lot of really cool stuff. So there's a lot of good face priming products that I got that are kind of more like that Marshall's TJ Maxx brand, and I'll be going over it in that video. And I'll link it down below, but there's been some pretty cool shit that I've put on my face that have just made all the difference. So I'll be using some of it in this video as far as setting the face, things like that. So anyways, I've already washed, moisturized, did all that stuff. I have prepped, primed my face, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and dive on into this foundation. So let's go ahead and pull this bad boy out. So when you open it up, it looks like this. It is a very heavy packaging, and I do like it. It's very, it's made out of glass, and it's not that cheap plastic type of material, and it has a nice black lid on it. So per the box, it says here that it's infused with coconut water to delicately replenish skin's moisture levels, has alpine rose to brighten skin's appearance and promote elasticity, and hyaluronic acid for a smoother, more youthful appearance, which hyaluronic acid works really well if you have dry skin for keeping that moisture in your skin. So basically what it says, this oil-free foundation masterfully diffuses the line between makeup and skin, coverage so undetectable and skin so naturally radiant they'll think you were born this way. Nice pun there, Too Faced. Let's see, and it says tip for I woke up like this perfection, apply from the center of the face outward and blend, build to full coverage by layering as needed. And per their stats on the side of the box here, it says 100% of people said that their foundation blurred their imperfections, 98% said this foundation made their skin look absolutely perfect, and 97% said this foundation provided natural coverage. So I'm excited about it. So we're gonna go ahead and try this because it sounds like everything I could possibly want in a foundation. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this with a damp beauty blender. So if we go ahead and open this guy up, so it looks like it has like a nice black pump on it. I'm gonna go ahead and pump this onto the back of my hand. All right. So basically that is the consistency of it there. It doesn't run anything too crazy like that. So it looks like it's gonna be a good match. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of dab this all over the face. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my damp beauty blender. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this into the face. Okay, so this actually is really nice. It is just kind of like going right into my skin. There's none of that like dry flakiness, and the true test for me is usually my nose. If it doesn't look good on my nose, it's usually gonna look like crap everywhere. It's my nose and my forehead area. This is where I see the most texture, is right in here, and then I have a lot of dry flakiness in my nose. And looking at it, actually you can't see any of my dry patches. It doesn't emphasize any of my pores, doesn't emphasize any fine lines, nothing like that. So that is good, and this is actually a really good match. So this is probably the perfect shade. It's a little bit dark, just a smidge. I mean, it's not that noticeable, so I'll definitely be able to carry this over into possibly a summer shade, which makes me happy because right now all of my foundations are extremely light because like the color difference between me and winter versus summer is ridiculous. I'm like, it's like a 20 shade difference of my skin tone. I tan so easily, so like by the time the end of summer comes around, I'm so dark. So anyhow, make sure we blend down the neck because nobody wants to see foundation lines. Yeah, this actually looks like amazing on my face. I don't know if I can like go in just a little bit to my face, but like if you can really see, it doesn't really bring out any of my texture on like my forehead, my nose, anything like that. It's just really, really nice on the skin so far. So let's hope that this can kind of last all day. All right, so let's go ahead and test it out with some of the other products, see how my favorite products kind of work with it. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with some concealer. I'm gonna go in with the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer, and I am in the color Medium Golden for any of you that are interested. This is hands down like my favorite concealer. I feel like you know, the Shape Tape has like a really big following, you know, ColourPop, things like that, but this is the only concealer that I've ever used that really just kind of melts into the skin and doesn't really like cause any of like that weird like cakiness or like that powderiness. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just blend this in. It seems to be just melting into the foundation. There's no weird separation. It's not causing the foundation underneath it to pick up at all, which is a huge issue. I know that was a really big issue with the new Marc Jacobs foundation that I have now returned because it was awful, is that when you went to go layer product on top of it, it would just take the foundation right off of your face. It was really bad. This seems to be blending in really, really nicely. So far this looks really, really nice. Alright, go ahead and set the face, that way we don't have to deal with any creasing. I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. I'm going to go ahead and apply that also with a damp beauty blender, and I'm just going to set the under eyes and kind of my smile line areas just to make sure that we don't get any creasing. I do have a long day ahead of me, so I want to make sure that this stays as long as possible. That's the only thing I hate about these, is that the powder goes everywhere. Like, I don't care how carefully you try to put the lid back on this, it's like everywhere, and I always end up like choking on it. Blech. All right. This is really pretty. Like the powder sits really, really nicely on top of the foundation. There isn't any like weird cakey powderiness, anything like that. So that's nice. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and just bronze up the face and throw on some highlight just to kind of finish up the face. That way we can get a kind of a full gist of how this foundation works with all of my favorite products. Oh, and the bronzer that I'm using is this guy right here. It's the Honolulu bronzer. For those of you guys that saw my dupe video that I made, I don't know, quite a few videos back, this was like a really good dupe for the Benefit Hula bronzer. And I think that it works really well. I normally use like the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, but I've actually been reaching for this a lot more. It's a very warm, like contour kind of bronzer, but it blends out so nicely and it looks really, really pretty. And it's only, what was it, like $5-6, but you get it on the Hush app. So I know that people have probably seen a lot of videos of the Hush app where they have a lot of like dupe makeup, things like that, where you're finding like dupe ABH palettes, some dupe Huda Beauty palettes, things like that. But anyway, this was a really good dupe for the Hula bronzer, and it's a lot cheaper, and I think that it looks prettier than the Hula bronzer, to be honest. So finish up, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight the face. And I'm gonna go in with the Becca, it's a little cute little guy, but it's the Becca highlighter in the color Champagne Pop. I don't know if anybody does highlighters better than Becca. They're so pretty. Alright guys, that is it for right now. We've got the entire face on. Again, we can kind of like zoom in on my face a little bit and we can just see like how nicely this is kind of laying on my skin right now. It's really, really pretty. I'm a fan so far. There's like no weird cakiness, there's no weird patchiness. It's not emphasizing any of my like dry patches or fine lines, anything like that. So I am a fan thus far. I'm gonna go ahead and go through my entire day. It is, what time is it right now? It is, sorry, my phone's being slow. It is currently 10:05 in the morning. Yes, that's my boyfriend. Ain't he cute? But it's 10:05 in the morning, and yeah, I've got a full day of Easter shenanigans going on. It's Saturday, but I'm doing some Easter stuff with my friends today, and then I will check in at the end of the day. We'll see how this held up, and yeah, otherwise I will see you guys in a couple hours. Well, more than a couple hours. Like, I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, welcome back. It is now several hours later after putting this foundation on my face. According to my phone right now, it is, if you can kind of see it, it is 10:31 p.m. So we have had this foundation on my face for quite a bit of time at this point, and my hair is just wild. It's a lot of hair to get used to. But anyways, we are checking in on the foundation, which is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. So checking in on it, I think that it has done extremely well. I have been out in the sun. I have helped people set up for Easter egg hunts, all that good stuff. Like, I've literally been out in the sun, in the elements, talking to people. Like, I've been doing the full, like, I mean, if you look really in, like, on my makeup, like, look at this. Stuff is like dripping off my face because I've literally been outside sweating my ass off for like 10 hours. I had way more than I can count on one hand of people come up to me and tell me how amazing my makeup looked today. It just feels really good when people come up to you and say that your makeup looks really good. So that means that my foundation is working extremely well because it was 80 degrees, everybody's makeup was just like melting off and gross and things like that. Granted, 80 degrees does not sound like it's that warm, but for California, well, I can't even say for California, it's always warm here, but we've had some like crazy cold weather like the last month, 2-3 months, things like that. And so this is like our first week of like crazy warm weather where it's like been 80 plus degrees. So for us, it feels like it's like 100 degrees. But besides that, like my makeup has held up extremely well. My foundation has held up well. It's not cakey, anything like that. So if I kind of like zoom in on this for you guys, you can kind of see it. Like nothing has really like melted off. There has been, sorry about that. That would be my phone dinging. But if you kind of look at that, there has been no, like my makeup hasn't melted off, nothing crazy like that. It's not showing any crazy textures. It's just held up really, really well. And I've just gotten like really good feedback on this foundation. I'm a huge fan of this makeup. It just looks so good. So anyway, those of you out there with dry, flaky textured skin like me, it doesn't even have to be as bad as mine, but like I would definitely recommend giving this a try. You can get it at Ulta, you can get it at Sephora, things like that. It's such a nice foundation. And just to kind of check in on the price of it, I don't know if I necessarily told you guys the price when I first put this on my face. This foundation retails for $39. Yes, I know it's a little bit pricey. I know that there are other drugstore foundations out there that work really well. However, it's always nice to have like a nice high-end foundation in your arsenal. But I'm a huge fan of this. Like this is probably the best foundation that I have ever used to date. I've used drugstore, I've used high-end, I've used super high-end, I've used so many different foundations, and like this literally is like the best one for my skin. Like it just looks good. And like on top of that, especially with it being more of like a dewy foundation, especially with like being sweaty and kind of just like hot all day, you would expect for like this foundation to look extremely like greasy and things like that, and it didn't look like that at all. I've just gotten like endless compliments on my makeup all day, and I'm really, really excited about it. So anyways, if you guys have dry skin, textured skin, things like that, you're looking for a good foundation, I would definitely recommend getting your hands on this, trying it out. I know that it has been out for a little bit of time, but if you are like me and you are new to the foundation world, haven't really like worn foundation, I would definitely recommend giving it a try. I don't know if it'll work really well for oily skin. If you have oily skin, I'd probably stay away from it because I feel like it would get really like greasy looking. However, if you have dry skin, yo, this is a win. So I try it out, you guys. Otherwise, that is it. That is my full review of this foundation. I've had it on for about 11 or 12 hours now. I think that it works really well. It hasn't wiped off of my face. I don't look cakey. I don't look gross. I don't look greasy. Nothing like that. It's just held up extremely well, and my skin just feels like overall just like really happy. About ready to take this off, take all my makeup off, and just go to bed because I'm tired. Otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Bye guys!